Hi everybody, my name is Dhimant Parekh and I'm the founder of The Better India. Congratulations for being a part of this wonderful program, and I'm here today to talk about leadership. You know, there's so much talk about leadership and the different styles of leadership, what is really needed for you to be a successful leader, and many a times I've been asked, what is your leadership style, right? And I think for anyone who wants to kind of, be successful, uh, rise up their careers. Um, if you really think about it, leadership is probably the last thing on their mind, right? I think leadership may be a great word to use in business schools and large corporations, and but when you actually get down to work, there's simply so much to do. You're nurturing an idea, you're trying to execute, you're managing teams, you're hiring people, you're leading sales, you're managing money. So really, at the end of it all, right? Like, who has time for leadership, right? With the never-ending, work of trying to build something, um, there's so much of grit, so much of humility, so much of honest, hard work that's needed. And I think the foundation for what I believe is the style of leadership that has worked for me, uh, in building a team, in building a business, is really, it boils down to a few very important attributes. So I want to take a different take on leadership. I'm not going to tell you that, hey, you know what, you need to have these three traits and this is what leadership kind of amounts to and so on. But I'm basically going to share with you what are the various things that I have embraced as I have discovered my own sort of a leadership journey, right? So here's the first thing, right? First and foremost for me is that passion. What I found is passion is very infectious. If as a leader, if any leader is deeply passionate about what they're building, what they're doing, it shows, right? And your passion spills over to everyone around you. It's really hard to ignore passion, and it's absolutely impossible not to imbibe, right? So that's my first thing. Passion is infectious. The second thing that I say is that perfection really kills progress. Perfection, especially for people who want to create stuff, dreamers, builders. I think perfection is a trap. It is a threat to innovation, and focusing efforts on achieving perfection really delays a lot of opportunities and your momentum. Instead, I would love to work with my team to really trade perfection for action, right? And you can lead by example there. So that's my second thing I've realized, that perfection kills progress, and to kind of expect your team that you are leading to aim for perfection is probably not a great idea. The third thing I've learned is that you just cannot lead without getting your hands dirty. If you're not there, then tackling a challenge hands on in the middle of a huge crisis, um, if you're not there tackling it, then that's not the example you want for your team. The only way to drive ownership is for you to start exhibiting it. So that's my third important thing. You can't lead without getting your own hands dirty, without you getting into the thick of action, right? The fourth thing that I have really kind of learned over the years is that values are more important than skills, and that's really what I look for in almost every team member that I hire for my organization. I believe that values are intrinsic. Skills can be built, right? So what you really need is hire a team that shares the same values as you. Values of your core team is what then kind of evolves into a work culture. For instance, at the Better India, our non-negotiable values are empathy, respect, honesty, and of course the ability to hustle. Right? So my fourth sort of learning has been that values are a lot more important than skills. And the fifth, um, and I think this is something that's not probably talked about enough, is that a good leader is actually a great listener. You really need to listen to what your team has to say. Every single person in your team does something better than you do. That's something we should accept. Every single member in your team will have the ability to do something better than you do, right? And every member in your team knows something better than you do and brings something very unique to the table. And you can only discover this if you encourage them to share their perspective. And that's when you will be able to, let yourself grow. So that's my fifth point, that a really good leader is a great listener. So if I have to be honest, like I said, leadership as a concept is the last thing you should worry about. So if you are passionate, if you are curious, if you are compassionate, it'll come to you naturally, right? So yeah, thank you so much for having me be a part of this session. Once again, I'd like to congratulate the entire team who's done a phenomenal job, and thank you again for giving me the honor to address everybody here. Thank you so much.